All right, hi everybody. First, I would like to thank you all for letting me sing to you today. This is the first time that I've ever sang for people, and I'm glad that I got to do it here, so thank you very much. All right, well, my name is Karai Muhammad Smith, and I am a now graduated senior from East Kentwood High School. And, all right, here we go. If you're lucky, you'll have something I like to call a world epiphany. It's when the curtain is pulled completely off and you get to see the inner workings of how the world works and how the people work too. As a child, parents try to prevent their children from even coming near the curtain, and I can say for myself, I didn't even know it existed. I thought the world was such a wonderful place, and I can be quoted saying, "I love everyone and everybody loves me." However, I was taught that's not necessarily true with the lessons of stranger danger and not everyone is your friend. So with this newfound knowledge, I went on my merry way through elementary school, but then came middle school. Middle school is where children begin to start judging the world and the people in it. I know I felt judged because my family wasn't like majority of my peers. We never really went to church, and I kind of felt left out because it seemed as if my peers went to this almost magical place every Sunday and all their problems would be fixed. I had heard about this book, and it seemed to have all the answers, and I definitely wanted in. So I attended a few 30-hour famines and youth groups with my friends and even sat through some services, but I wasn't having the revelation I was expecting. So when my mother told me we were going to start attending church, I was so excited. I was going to be like everyone else and have my own church and my own youth group. However, when I walked into the Tower Club room and I saw the other kids sitting on couches and beanbag chairs, I was taken back. Even the leader was sitting on a beanbag chair, and there were no Bibles in sight. As the youth group continued, I began to get frustrated because Matthew, our then youth minister, was asking me the answers to questions. He didn't pull out a book or tell me what the answers were, but he asked me if there was a God and who I thought this God was. I was angry because I didn't have the answers to those questions. I was so used to being told them that I had never really thought for myself what they were. I left that first youth group not wanting to come back because I felt like the leaders weren't qualified, and if they didn't have answers, why should I waste my time there? But when I was repeatedly forced to go back, I began to realize how crazy my thinking really was. I couldn't believe that I was angry, that I was actually asked to think for myself. And with this knowledge, the curtain was cracked. I realized that I had become a little bit brainwashed and that I always need to think for myself, even though sometimes it may not be convenient or cool. So as I headed to high school, this lesson was often tested in myself and one that I saw that many others lacked. And as 12th grade year progressed, I had my world epiphany, and I had finally saw what was behind that curtain. I saw that not everyone did the right thing. I saw people who stomped on others in order to advance themselves. I saw how people mindlessly put down others just because they could. I saw that some people really were mean. What I saw behind this curtain was the real world that I had always thought I was going to change, and the task became even more daunting. However, Fountain Street has taken me to see this world, and I've gotten to see the bad, but also the good. Fountain Street has taken me to New Orleans and let me dance to the music of street performers who deserve to be playing in Carnegie Hall. Taken me climbing the utterly beautiful Grand Canyon and searching for ancient and eerily non-existent dinosaur tracks. Fountain Street has given me the opportunity to talk with the homeless of New York City, which were some of the most insightful people I've ever met. Fountain Street has taught me to always think for myself and not to let all the other gobbledygook out there get in my way. These lessons are ones that I will carry with me as I navigate college and throughout the rest of my life. And I'm so grateful that I got to learn them here with you all. I thank my mom for insisting I continue to come to Fountain Street, and I thank you, Fountain Street, for reminding me to think.
Good morning. My name is Paul Kempter, and I'm incredibly nervous. I've never had a chance to stand up here and really admire the beauty of this room. I almost feel cheated that Fred gets to do this every Sunday and I have to sit down here. No, but in some ways, speaking of Fountain Street is in my blood. Some of you may have known my grandfather, Paul Kempter, whom I was named after. Let's see, me and Isabel and Lee Morrison and Sarah Kempter, my younger sister, we're all fifth-generation Fountain Streeters. Our great-grandparents were Fountain Streeters. Our great-great-parents were Fountain Streeters. Our grandparents and our parents were Fountain Streeters, so that's kind of cool. My sister Grace would also qualify, but she just doesn't live here. She still lives in Pennsylvania, and I'm really working on her to move so she can experience this. But anyway, if you'll lend me your ears for a few minutes, I'll tell you my story. It begins in 2011, late November. Things were not going very well for me. I'd done something pretty foolish, and I'll spare you all the details or excuses. But long story short, I dropped out of high school in the middle of my senior year. I couldn't bear living with the shame that sundered my conscience like an angry demon. This was easily the stupidest move of my life. So far, at least. All those years since first grade, they all seemed for naught. I had no hope, and I was ready to give up and commit to a life of struggle and misery. But then, a shimmering golden window of opportunity was presented to me by my father. I could redeem myself by moving up to Michigan to live with him and finish school in Grand Rapids. This was a chance for a fresh start. This was a chance to graduate. This was a chance to make things right.